We'd like to welcome those of you who just finished watching Texas beat Baylor on ESPNU. I'm Bob Picozzi, along with former Boston College guard Malcolm Huckabee. From Blacksburg, Virginia, Boston College has just scored its 8th and 9th consecutive points, and the Eagles have a 15-10 lead over Virginia Tech. So far tonight, Malcolm, BC running some very good half-court offense.
Yeah, they have not settled for any threes. They're getting high percentage shots off of backdoor cuts, and that last one right there you saw in transition, another uncontested layup by Boston College.
Virginia Tech trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. Boston College, after losing 9 in a row, coming off a win over NC State, trying to make it back-to-back wins. Here's Olivier Hanlon, leads the ACC in scoring. And Buzz Williams doesn't come off a team that's going to finish last or next to last in the league. But chatting with Jim Christian yesterday, he said to me, he's been the best and most consistent player in the league. I know we're 2-14, but he ought to be considered for the ACC Player of the Year because nobody in the league has had a better year than he has.
Well, we talked about the loss. As you take a look at Virginia Tech knocked down a 3. The loss of Ryan Anderson and Joe Rahan, 2 transfers when Jim Christian took the job. And certainly that's 2 key players that were involved along with Olivier Hanlon the last 2 years. And certainly that's a big reason why Boston College is struggling this year in the ACC.
Anderson was honorable mention All-ACC a year ago with only 1 year of eligibility left. He transferred to Arizona. Heckman had his pocket picked by number 23, Jalen Hudson, who then takes it right to the rim and draws the foul. So Hudson will shoot a couple of free throws with BC leading by 4. Todd will play just 1 game and then out for the year with a calf injury. And Sam Donahue didn't see a lot of playing time, just 7 games. He's out with a back injury, so only 10 players in uniform for Jim Christian tonight. Jalen Hudson knocks down 1 of 2 from the line. So despite an 11-0 BC run, Virginia Tech has pulled within 3.
Hudson's came out of the same high school that LeBron James played for, St. Vincent's, and out of Ohio. And again, Buzz Williams has a lot of nice young pieces on this roster. A lot of these guys are getting a lot of minutes in this ACC season, and I think next year you're going to see a much improved and obviously much more experienced team for Virginia Tech.
And before Eddie Odio's checked in for the Eagles, shot clock inside 10. Odio with the wide open 3, and he has really struggled from there this season. Can't get that one to go down. Man-to-man defense for the Eagles. Odio now 6 for 28 from behind the arc this season. Wilson gives to Bibbs. Quick jab step with the left.
That's a beautiful pull-up jumper that time by Bibbs. And Boston College obviously aware of the 3-point shooting of Virginia Tech. We talked about they came into this game leading the ACC in 3-point field goal percentage, and they averaged close to 9 threes a game. That time, nice use of the up fake and nice short mid-range game pull-up jumper.
Dimitri Batten on the drive and misses the throwdown. Rebound, last touch by Batten. Batten playing back in his home state, played 3 years at Old Dominion, graduated. Boy, this is embarrassing.
Well, it could have either been a top 10 nominee for a good thing. That time misses the deuce, but I like his aggression. And Boston College as a whole, they're all trying to get the ball to the hole. They're not settling for jumpers.
But a foul on the perimeter called on Odio, his first, and number 4 on the team. Chatting with Jim Christian, he said dinner tasted extra special on Saturday night after that win over NC State. They had lost 9 in a row. They played very hard. They played Pitt well last week, lost a close game. They'd lost a number of close games. But there's nothing quite like getting a tangible result like a win to make you feel better, to reward you for all your hard work.
Yeah, and both teams really have lost some close games. We're going to get into that graphic a little later as this game goes on. But both Virginia Tech and Boston College have lost a lot of close games in ACC play. And certainly Coach Christian is happy that his team was able to come out with a victory in one of these.
Howard with the miss. Rebound Hill. Here's Wilson. Shane Henry thought about it. Shot clock at 10 for the Hokies. Bibbs gets the high screen from Henry. Now gives to Wilson, and he nails the three. Only a 27% shooter from three-point range.
Well, that's beautiful offense by Virginia Tech. Very patient, worked a lot of the shot clock, had Boston College spread out, and then Wilson knocked down a three.
The Hokies have already outscored the Eagles by 9 from the three-point line. A 9-0 run to take the lead, and then Hanlon comes right back to tie.
Well, not too many holes in his game. Early in the season, he struggled a little bit shooting the ball, but right now, he's got the whole game going. Step-back jumpers, three-point shot, and then in the open court, he is just so difficult to keep out of the lane.
Batten with the three. His 21st of the year. So back and forth they go. It was an 11-0 BC run, immediately followed by a 9-0 Virginia Tech run, and now a quick 5-0 mini run for the Eagles. Shot clock inside 10. Hudson with the clock at 5. Somebody has to let it loose. And his three-point attempt at the shot clock buzzer is blocked by Heckman, and it's a shot clock violation. Timeout of the fourth left, and I know you're going to be in Lexington to do that Florida game on the radio this Saturday.
Yeah, I can't wait to get down there. I just called the Duke-Syracuse game. I think Duke really is the one team that could match up with Kentucky. Jahlil Okafor, for me, is the best player in college basketball. I think they have enough guards and length to match up against Kentucky, but you're going to have to play a near-perfect game to beat them, because otherwise they are just so good, so long on defense, they make it really difficult for you to score.
Wildcats had a number of close scares, and since they had a 2-point win over LSU back on February 10th, they played 5 games since, and their average margin of victory in those 5 is 24 points. Batten with his second three-pointer of the first half.
Well, that's a good sign if you're Boston College, and those are both good threes that Batten had knocked down. One in transition that time out of the zone, and a breakdown by Virginia Tech. They just left them wide open. Good ball movement by Boston College, and Batten knocking down some shots from the perimeter.
Malcolm, you grew up playing winners out in the playground, right?
Yeah.
How about this? 11-0 BC run, 9-0 Virginia Tech run, 8-0 BC run, back to back to back.
Yeah, and this one right here, again, breakdown by Virginia Tech, leaving Batten wide open on the perimeter, and that's just too easy. Coach Williams not happy with his young team on their defensive assignments.
Foul on Boston College was on Hanlon, his first and 5 on the team. Batten started out the season well, but when they hit conference play, he really slowed down. They could really use another scorer to go along with Hanlon and Aaron Brown.
That's the reason why for Boston College. You take a look at a backdoor cut. That third score has been an issue for Boston College, and
Heckman, with great body control, avoids the charge call, and instead it will be a block on Devin Wilson. For him, that will be his first and 4 on the team.
We've seen this a couple times for Boston College. In transition, Virginia Tech late to get back, and Boston College taking advantage of that. This time, Heckman almost able to come up with a and-1 situation in transition.
Each team with a starter from Germany. Heckman is from Mainz, Germany. He's a senior, played for the German under-18 and under-20 national teams. Malik Mueller for Virginia Tech from Frankfurt, Germany. And Clifford is shaken up on the rebound following the free throw. Looked like he was checking to see if there was some blood coming out of that ear. Clifford's had an injury-riddled career. Last year he missed the last 30 games with a knee injury, wound up with a red shirt. He has been healthy in his senior year.
And he's a guy that's moved well for Boston College, in particular in ball screen situation, does a nice job of hedging. As you take a look at Heckman again.
Heckman with the steal at one end and the spectacular move to the goal and another foul on Wilson.
Well, Coach Jim Christian calls him the X factor for Boston College, and when he plays well, Boston College seems to be in games with the opportunity to win. And certainly early on in this game, he's played well for Boston College, making some nice passes. And then this is twice now where he's been able to finish in transition.
Misses the free throw. So it's BC by 9. Their second 11-0 run of the half. I mean, that's unbelievable. 11-0, 9-0, 11-0 with nothing in between. And we'll get a foul on the Eagles as Bueller put the ball on the deck. It will be on Heckman. And that's 2 on him and 6 on the Eagles. Needless to say, when you only dress 10, foul trouble can be a major calamity.
Yeah, Boston College, not a very deep team. As you talked about it, 10 guys really on the roster. So very little room for error in terms of fouls or guys getting fatigued.
Well, that's the second time on the baseline inbound that the Hokies have gotten an easy layup or a little jump hook there. Just too easy.
Yeah, and that time the freshman Pierce again showing some nice touch around the rim, and another nice freshman. We talked about the close games that Virginia Tech has been in this year, and lost a lot of close ones. That's typically what you're going to get with a young team, but certainly these guys get a lot of experience. As Dennis Clifford showing off the range. Doesn't take many, but
you think that was only his 4th of the year.
And looks like a two-guard on that one.
He made 2 of these, shooting 50% from there. And coming right back with another 3 is Mueller. So finally this trading long runs comes to an end, and Jim Christian doesn't like his transition defense. He's going to get a time. And last Saturday against Virginia, the Hokies were 9 for 19 for three-point range. I'm surprised they didn't schedule a game tonight with the Warriors. They played back-to-back Duke and then Virginia. The ACC schedule is absolutely unforgiving. Hanlon thought about it, instead gives to Brown. Batten baseline, and the up and under. A terrific first half for Dimitri Batten. He's already got 10 points.
Boston College fortunate on that. Nice ball movement, and Batten almost looked like he had the ball stuck on his leg going to the baseline, but nice up and under reverse move, and good offense against that matchup zone by Boston College.
Batten 4 for 5 from the floor. Malcolm, they're a different team when Batten scores. And on the drive, the easy basket by Adam Smith.
Well, Adam Smith, another one of those good guards in the ACC, leads his team in scoring, and guy that's more known as a three-point shooter, shooting over 40% from the three-point line, but that's a nice move down the lane.
Hanlon for 3. His 61st 3 of the season. He's got 11 tonight. We've seen some terrific offense for the Eagles in the first half.
Yeah, we have, but there's got to be more communication with Virginia Tech on that ball screen, in particular with Olivier Hanlon. The big is either got to be out there to help and hedge or switch out, but you cannot give Olivier Hanlon, who's shooting 46% from beyond the arc coming into this game, any space.
Smith no good. Rebound Hanlon looking for something in transition. Finds Brown for the corner 3. And Buzz Williams gets a timeout. The Boston College 8th in three-point makes, 9th in assists, 9th in three-point percentage, and 10th in field goal percentage. Out of the Virginia Tech timeout, Bibbs with the miss, and rebound is pulled down by Brown. 4 on 3 if they hurry. Brown takes it right to the rim. Boston College averages only 65 points per game. They already got 41 with 2 minutes to go in the half. They're 13th in the ACC in scoring. Last touched by BC. Brown is the night
on the arc and from the floor. I think it's awfully tough to beat them. They are just so good, and they can create so much offense with their defense. I would say no, I don't see it happening, anybody beating them until late into the NCAA tournament.
Trying to become the first team to run the table all the way through the NCAA finals since Bob Knight's Indiana team. in 1976. Clifford with the block shot. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. The Eagles shooting the lights out. 68%. 50% from behind the arc. Doing a lot of the damage in the paint. Third time, Malcolm, they get a layup off an inbound baseline.
Yeah, and that's just really poor defense by Boston College, and they've all been off of out of bounds underneath. The last place you want to give up an uncontested shot is underneath the basket, and that's 3 times now Boston College has given up easy buckets on out of bounds underneath.
Hanlon for 3. The Eagles had made 9 consecutive shots before that miss. Wilson sets up Hill for 3. Rebound Eddie Odio. Clifford. Clifford sets the high screen for Hanlon. 10 seconds to shoot. Owens to the cutter, deflected and stolen by Smith. Quickly. And the good quick hands by Brown knocked it out of bounds. Less than a minute to go in the first half. You got to believe at halftime, Malcolm. Well, let's see. Here we go again. Virginia Tech inbounding, 4th time baseline. Will the 4th time be the charm, or is BC going to give up another layup here?
Well, right now, I think they're doing a poor job communicating. Now they're switching on the ball. Any screen, they're switching.
That was better. Problem for the Hokies has been at the other end of the floor. They haven't stopped anything. Bibbs. Clifford affected the arc of that one, and the easy putback by Byer is no good. Less than a second difference now, shot clock, game clock, so Jim Christian can play for 1. He's already used the timeout, doesn't want to use another. What are they looking to do here in the final 20 seconds?
Well, they're going to keep it in Olivier Hanlon's hands. I think that's the situation right there. Put him in a high ball screen. Let him go to work. If the defense draws, they'll kick it out. Otherwise, let Hanlon do his thing.
Here comes the high ball screen from Clifford. With 5 seconds left, Hanlon splits the defense. Contested shot, no good. At the buzzer. But nothing much went wrong for Boston all season long for the Hokies. They are 14th in the ACC in scoring defense. They give up 69 points per game. Looks like they're going to give up more than that tonight. And they begin the second half with a turnover, looking for a slide to the goal and a little mix-up. It's only the 5th turnover for Virginia Tech, but BC has only 2 turnovers.
Yeah, and that time right there, the play was there, but Mueller needs to reverse the ball to the wing and then try to take a better angle to enter that ball into the post. The big had him pinned on his hip, but really a poor entry angle. Can't make a pass from the top of the key and try to draw a dime like that into the post.
Buzz Williams with an early substitution. Shane Henry is in, replacing Christian Byer. The Hokies begin the second half in his own. From the corner, Dimitri Batten picking up where he left off in the first half. He has been spectacular tonight with 13 points.
And that time Mueller, poor closeout, just too much space. And that time Batten able to knock down another 3 for Boston College.
He's 3 for 3 from behind the arc. Heckman puts it on the deck, and a great dump down to Clifford.
Well, Bob, that's the big number for Dennis Clifford. He's been assisting more for Boston College. First 3 years at Boston College, 112 assists, 133 turnovers. This year, much better, 53 assists, only 27 TOs, and he's a guy that's the X factor for Boston College. This is a nice breakdown to defense, draw 2 defenders, and then beautiful pass to Dennis Clifford, who finished with authority.
Heckman already with 4 assists tonight. That gives him 31 in his last 7 games. This is the biggest lead of the night. Heckman has been very consistent in the distributing department in these last half dozen games. Jim Christian said you would never know that we're a 10 and 18 team from watching its practice. The kids have worked hard all season long. Batten finally misses his first three-point attempt, but Clifford gets the rebound, outworking everyone. Last touch by the Hokies. Great hustle there by Will Johnston. Since the initial shot hit the rim, the Eagles still have 31 seconds left to shoot. Trying to make it back-to-back wins following the huge win, a 16-point home win over North Carolina State on Saturday. And away from the play, we'll get a foul on Virginia Tech. First foul on Johnston. Pass deflected and stolen by Hill. 2-on-1. And he finishes.
Nice individual play that time by Hill. And Batten, really a careless turnover. He was wide open on the wing. Chose to pass it. I don't think he realized how open he was. And basically passed that ball to Hill, who stole it and then finished at the other end.
Hill, a prolific scorer in high school. 3,024 points. Third most in Georgia's schoolboy history. Down low, ridiculously easy, but Clifford's shot was blocked. Hudson bumped on the perimeter by Aaron Brown. That will be his first and one on BC this half. Brown began his college career at Temple, 2 years there, 1 year at Southern Miss, has already graduated, and is using his final year of eligibility as a graduate student at Boston College.
And Brown, a guy that really has provided Boston College with a legit second option behind Hammond.
Hudson missed the dunk. Last touch by BC. Virginia Tech on baseline inbounds beneath their own basket. Got 3 layups in the first half. This time they turn it over. Hanlon's wide open. Entry pass to Clifford. Here's the double team. Batten will be called for the. His foot was on the sideline before he drove the baseline. Only the 4th turnover for the Eagles. BC will end the regular season Saturday at home against Wake Forest. Virginia Tech will end it Saturday here at Castle Coliseum against Miami. Miami, by the way, a team squarely on the bubble. Joe Lunardi's latest bracketology, they are in the next 4 out column as Hanlon draws a foul and gets to the line.
Well, that time Hill opened up on the wing, and that's something you cannot do with Olivier Hanlon. He's just too good with the ball. You have to play him straight up and just try to keep him in front of you. Anytime you open up, he is going to get to the hole.
Couple of teams ranked highlight the Thursday night showcase on ESPNU. We'll start at 9 Eastern time when VCU will take on Davidson. Davidson in a 3-way tie for first in the Atlantic 10. Then we head out to the Pac-12. Utah trying to bounce back after that loss to Arizona will take on Wichita State Thursday night on ESPNU. The regular season race, Malcolm, in the Atlantic 10 is a wild one. 3 teams tied for first with 2 games left, and VCU only a game behind those 3.
So much can happen in these next couple of days and weeks. A lot of important games to be played.
Hudson no good. Rebound Hanlon. On the left, he comes to Brown. Does a nice job of drawing the foul on Johnston. That will be his second, and 3 on the Hokies this half. So, Malcolm, what do you think about Hanlon's game at the next level? Whether that next level begins next season or whether or not he returns for senior year at BC?
Well, he has everything in particular when he's shooting the ball well. At the beginning of the season, he really struggled with his outside shot. I think at one point he was below 25% from beyond the three-point line. Really struggled from the floor, but you saw what he did in that month of February. There are really not too many holes in his game. He's got range on his jumper. He's got a nice mid-range game, but I think the part that makes him special in the open court, he does an excellent job changing direction, changing speeds, setting guys up, and then he can get to the free throw line with the best of them. I think his game translates to the next level.
Entry pass deflected by BC. 24 to shoot for Virginia Tech.
But the college basketball to go along for, in my opinion, the best player in college basketball, Jahlil Okafor. I think if there's one team that has a chance, if they eventually meet in the NCAA tournament, to beat Kentucky, I think Duke has the formula. They have a big that can draw so much attention in Jahlil Okafor, but then they have guards and wing players that can match up with them athletically and make shots from the perimeter, because you're going to have to make some shots from the outside against Kentucky.
The third foul on Ahmed Hill, and 4 in the team as Garland Owens goes to the line. And besides having 6 teams in the field of 68 as of now, Joe Lunardi has 2 more ACC teams firmly on the bubble. Pitt is in the first 4 out list, and Miami is in the next 4 out list. Of course, the big story over the weekend in college basketball perhaps was Gonzaga losing, and for the moment that in Joe Lunardi's bracketology knocks Gonzaga off the 1 line, and he now has Villanova as his 4th number 1 seed along with Kentucky, Virginia, and Duke. Smith, it's been a very quiet night for him. Lobs it down low to Byer for the layup.
Nice little screen and roll action that time by Virginia Tech, and Byer was able to catch that in traffic, go up and finish. And they're going to need a lot more of that to get back into this game. But it's going to start on this end of the court for Virginia Tech. To this point, it's just been too easy for Boston College on offense.
Shot clock down to 8. Hanlon with the off-balance shot, didn't even hit the rim. And here come the Hokies. Good defensive possession for Virginia Tech. You haven't been able to say that very often tonight.
Yeah, that was one of the few poor offensive possessions for Boston College.
Smith's been a quiet night for him, and he knocks it down. He's 3rd in the league in three-point shooting percentage. Has 9 points tonight.
He's a guy came into this game over 40% from beyond the arc, and Boston College, like I said, coming into this game, that's going to be a key in this game, how they defend the three-point line. To this point, they've kept Smith under control. Certainly don't want him heating up if you're Boston College late in the second half.
Heckman goes baseline and lost the handle. And then Brown bumps Hill in the midcourt. And for Aaron Brown, that will be foul number 2.
And Smith does a great job right here. Really not even a ball screen. I think there was some confusion by Boston College of who was going to pick him up, and that's something that cannot happen. Smith's too good of a shooter, and we talked about the percentage coming into this game.
Smith has scored in double figures in his last 11 games, on the verge of doing it again tonight. Smith created some space but can't hit the fallback jumper. A lot of standing around so far in this possession for the Eagles. Hanlon. Shot clock at 10. They reverse it to Brown for the open 3. Back rims it, rebound Byer. Virginia Tech played 4 of its previous 5 games on the road. Twice this season, they have played 3 straight ACC road games. And Smith cleans up his own miss. So he's got
on the perimeter, and You know, Bob, so much can happen from now and through these teams getting into their conference tournament play. And I think that lineup right there that Joe has out there is going to change a couple times before this season is done.
Out of the BC timeout. Eagles led by as many as 22. Shot clock at 10. Owens low block Clifford. Spins into the double team and is called for the travel. He need to pass out of that?
He did. He did a nice job establishing position. Batten had a nice angle, nice post entry into Clifford, but then once the double team came, you got to pass out of that.
Eagles have won 7 of their last 8 meetings with the Hokies. 2 used to play together in the Big East. Boy, defensive breakdown there, huh?
It was, and it was off of a diagonal screen. Nice execution by Virginia Tech. And in that situation right there, I think it was Clifford. He got to bump the guard, slow that guy down to give Hamlin a chance to recover. No communication, and the result is a uncontested layup for Virginia Tech.
And an 8-0 Hokies run. Batten leaves for Heckman for the straight-ahead 3. Offensive rebound. Clifford, boy, did he use his muscle there.
Yeah, and that time he just big boyed him. That time underneath the post. It was a nice shot by Heckman. Wide open look. Didn't miss it, but then great work on the offensive glass by Dennis Clifford.
Solid effort so far tonight by Clifford. And the easy drive to the goal by Mueller. Virginia Tech much more effective offensively in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, they have. And right now it's a 14-point game. So you take a look at this. Probably trying to get this thing to single digits right around that 8-9 minute mark. And Boston College, again, careless turnover.
Jim Christian showing he still has the good hands, but it combined to miss 92 games because of injuries. The Eagles continue to shoot well, both from inside and outside the arc. The points in the paint was lopsided in BC's favor in the first half, but not so in the second 20 minutes. The drive by Hill no good. Rebound pulled down by Heckman. Here's Brown, wants to go right to the rim. Good quick hands by Byer. BC ball baseline.
And you can see the difference in the second half. Virginia Tech doing a much better job in transition defense in that first half. Reason why Boston College shot over 60% from the floor. Poor transition defense by Virginia Tech. That's changed late in the second half.
Clifford at the foul line with the shot clock at 10. Backs his way in. And he's called for the travel. He was double teamed. He had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and that's twice now that Clifford has been forced into a travel. And he's got size, but you certainly don't want him making a post move from the free throw line. You prefer him catching the ball down low in the block and then letting him go to work. Good defense that time by Virginia Tech.
Smith with the quick catch and shoot, and just like that, the 22-point lead has been cut in half.
Well, they lead the ACC three-point field goal percentage. I said it throughout this game, close to 9 threes made per game, and that's just another breakdown by Boston College. You got to understand your scouting report and personnel. Smith, one of the better three-point shooters in the ACC, can't get any airspace.
Entry pass to Clifford, deflected and stolen. They can pull within single digits here. Smith too quick for Heckman. And that will be foul number 3 on Heckman.
Well, that's a tough matchup. Patrick Heckman trying to match up against Adam Smith. He's just too quick for him on the perimeter. And Smith wisely took the ball to the hole against Heckman.
So at the line will go Adam Smith, 75% free throw shooter. Young man from Jonesboro, Georgia. Eddie Odio replaces Heckman, who sits down with the third foul.
Remember last year, Smith missed more than half the season with a calf injury, and really a big reason why Virginia Tech struggled last year as well, too.
BC had 2 turnovers in the first half, already with 7. First 11 minutes of this half. And a lane violation on Clifford will result in a redo on the second free throw attempt. A 22-point lead has been cut to 10 with lots of time left.
Now Virginia Tech extends their pressure.
The 14-2 Hokies run.
Well, Bob, we have not called Olivier Hanlon's name in these last 5 minutes, and I'm sure if you're Boston College, you want him shooting the ball, but that right there, not a good look. Contested 3 early in the shot clock.
Smith being guarded by Odio. Is Odio quick enough to check him?
He has some length, so I don't mind that matchup, but certainly Smith giving up has more quickness, as you see right there. Drew 2 defenders, and then that factor late in the second half, and that's the reason why they're back into this game.
22-point lead has been trimmed to 8. Hanlon. Clifford set the high screen. Hanlon went the other way. Another screen by Clifford. Batten for 3. Fourth 3 of the night in 5 attempts for Batten.
And that's a beautiful find by Brown. Little penetration off of a couple of swings of the ball, and then Wilson overhelp on Batten, who's been hot from beyond the arc in this game.
Smith with the wide open look. Rebound pulled down by Clifford. His 7th. Foul will be called on Hill, and that will be his 4th and 5. Virginia Tech desperately needs a win. They have not won since February 9th, a 2-point win over Georgia Tech. They've lost 9 in a row, the most heartbreaking of the 9. They've lost 5 in a row, rather, 8 of 9. The most heartbreaking of those losses was an overtime loss at home to Duke last Wednesday. 7 minutes left. Odio at the foul line. Hanlon defended by Wilson. Batten tries to beat his man off the bounce. 18 points for Batten. That equals his career high. Rebound Clifford. Hanlon drew the contact, and that will be foul number 3 on Wilson.
This has been the difference in the game for Boston College. The play of Dimitri Batten. Nice little crossover finish at the rim, and certainly Boston College needed his offensive production, giving them a third option in this game to go along with Hanlon.
Batten coming off an 11-point effort over NC State. Only his 2nd double-figure scoring game in his last 19, and he's followed that up with 18 more tonight. This is a big defensive possession for Virginia Tech. Brown goes baseline, kick out, Hanlon for 3. Rebound pulled down by Malik Mueller. 6 minutes left. Smith tries to draw the foul on Batten and does. 2nd foul on Batten, 4th on the team.
Smith so good off the bounce, very quick, very difficult to keep out of the lane. Nice change of direction, and then Batten really no choice but to foul him going to the hole.
Lead now 13. Coming up this weekend, part of championship week will be the semifinals in the SEC women's tournament. South Carolina is the #1 seed with their great All-American Tiffany Mitchell. Tennessee trying to survive the season-ending injury to Isabel Harrison. That's semifinal Saturday, SEC women on ESPNU. South Carolina coming off a weekend loss to Kentucky, dropped to #3 in the rankings in women's basketball today, with Notre Dame slipping ahead of them behind UConn. Sure looks, Malcolm, like UConn's going to win their 3rd straight national championship, doesn't it?
Unbelievable what he has done with that program. Gino Auriemma just continuing to roll with that UConn squad.
Foul will be on Aaron Brown, his 3rd and 5 on the team. So Virginia Tech trailed by 22. Close the gap to get right back in it. Big 3 by Mueller. This is the closest the Hokies have been since falling down by 22.
And that's beautiful offensive execution by Virginia Tech. Just poor play by Patrick Heckman that time, over helping on the play, leaving Mueller wide open in the corner.
2-3 Hokie zone. Brown penetrates and will draw the foul on Christian Beyer, his 2nd and 7 on the team. Big 3 by Mueller at the other end.
Yeah, and this was created by nice action in their offense right here. Nice backdoor cut, and there's really no reason for Patrick Heckman to help on that play. Olivier Hamlin was with his guy. He would have been forced into a difficult up and under, and you see that so oftentimes when guys get open for threes, the defense over helps, and that's something that you don't want to do, in particular against a team like Virginia Tech that averages close to 9 threes per game, and we talked about this. They lead the ACC in three-point field goal percentage.
10 points for Brown, so he's in double figures for the 13th straight time. 4:40 to go. Lead is 9. Wilson. Mueller looking for another 3. Big rebound by Hamlin. Pretty good luck.
Yeah, Boston College fortunate on that possession not to give up another 3 to Mueller. Again, over helping.
Hamlin guarded by Wilson. Now on the switch, picked up by Beyer. See if he tries to go right by him. Nope. Still Beyer on him, and he shoots over him. Rebound pulled down by number 10, Justin Bibbs. Crowd thought there should have been a foul. Batten comes up the court checking his nose. Shot clock inside 10. Brown goes on Beyer, and he'll be called for the travel. BC trying to put together back-to-back wins for the
Talked about his struggles in conference play, but on the road tonight against Virginia Tech. Certainly those easy looks early, I think, got him going, and then he's continued in this second half to play well.
His first 18-point effort was against Binghamton back in December. Rebounded by Hamlin. Now the Eagles looking to work some clock here.
Yes, they're going to be looking to work some clock. 9-point lead, and then certainly you got to think Olivier Hamlin needs to be more involved in this offense late in the shot clock. Try to get in some high ball screen situations, but he can't settle for jumpers. He's got to try to get the ball to the hole.
Aaron Brown for 3. Rebound pulled down by Beyer at the 2:40 mark, his 7th. And Buzz Williams wants to use a timeout. He still has 2 left. 26. The ACC is very unforgiving. Virginia Tech has played 7 ranked teams, all in the ACC, and they've lost all 7. Heckman's going to be called for the discontinued dribble at center court.
And that's a really unfortunate turnover by Heckman. You have a lead, 2:24 to go. That's the last thing you want to do in that situation. You get a turnover, and then you turn it right back over to Virginia Tech.
Despite the turnover, Heckman's been terrific tonight. Terrific at the offensive end. And he also has 4 steals. He's got 5 rebounds, 4 assists, only taken 3 shots. He's played a very solid all-around game. Smith for 3. And the lead is 6. Seems like Malcolm, BC's just trying to hang on by their fingertips.
Yeah, miscommunication that time. Boston College caught in between switching or staying home. The result, Smith wide open, and then another turnover by Boston College.
20-point night for Adam Smith.
And his release is just too quick. If there's any confusion, he's going to make you pay. Coming off a down screen, catch and shoot, quick release. Adam Smith, one of the better shooters in the ACC.
5th 20-point game of the year. 6-point lead. And Hanlon will commit the foul. Only the 6th on the Eagles, so 1 more, and the Hokies go to the line. Way too early to think 3 here, right? If it's there, take it, but work for the best shot.
Well, if it comes off a penetration and a kick, or if it's a down screen like the last time Smith came off and he's wide open, yes, that's fine. But you don't need to shoot a contested 3 early in the shot clock right now. Plenty of time left. Down 6.
And Buzz Williams is going to use another timeout. So twice now he's used a timeout right in the middle of the possession, shoot from the perimeter.
A lot of times you use a guy that you think is going to get the ball as a decoy to try to get another guy a shot. So let's see what they do here on this possession.
There's Smith, and there's your perimeter shot. Pretty good look.
It was a great play. Really just kind of a misdirection. Make it look like the play's going away from Smith. And have a guy drive baseline and have the big set, a little flare screen in the corner. That was a nice play. Everything except the hoop. But it was certainly a good look by Virginia Tech out of the timeout.
A first and drew up. Batten's had a terrific shooting night, particularly from behind the arc. And there's the foul indeed. You're right. They elect to put Brown on the line. He is a 69% free throw shooter. 3 for 4 tonight. Again, Boston College hasn't won back-to-back games since December 1st through the 14th. They won 4 in a row. They haven't won 2 in a row since, and that's what they're trying to do tonight. As Brown hits the front end. That sure would make that charter flight back to Boston seem a lot shorter. So the Hokies gamble with less than 20 seconds left in the shot clock, and instead BC opens up an 8-point lead. Now do you need the 3?
Again, if it comes off of penetration and kick, yes, that was a pretty good look that time by Smith, but certainly it's getting at that time now where you're going to have to start thinking about knocking down some 3s.
Foul on Wilson will be his 4th.
All right, here, Boston College fortunate. Clifford late, really not a good hedge by Dennis Clifford. And that's a situation where you got to come out and hedge hard, in particular against Adam Smith.
Clifford, 71% free throw shooter, his first attempt of the night. So BC makes its free throws. They're going to get out of here with their 3rd conference win of the year. Buyer rebound with 48 seconds left. Now you have to go for 3, right? And there's Mueller. And he misses, and now you have to foul. You can't wait till the poor foul shooter gets the ball in his hands, and instead it will be Hanlon going to the free throw line. And he is a 76% 50% free throw shooter. Olivier Hanlon on the watch list for the Bob Cousy Award. Third team All-ACC last year. You know, some coaches have the notion that you have to play in a good team in order to either win the Conference Player of the Year award. I think Jalil Okafor is going to win the Conference Player of the Year award in the ACC, or even be elected to first team. But how can you possibly keep Olivier Hanlon off the first team All-ACC squad, regardless of BC's record?
Well, the month of February that he had, that we've chronicled in this game, 27 points a game, shot over 50% from the floor, 46% from the three-point line, and you know, certainly nobody in college basketball put up those type of numbers in the month of February. But everybody has a different view in terms of how you gauge guys, you know, whether or not they're on a winning team or whether or not they're playing on a team that's contending for the ACC title. Certainly there's no denying Olivier Hanlon's talents.
This is what Hanlon's done tonight. Named the ACC Player of the Week today. First time all season. Hanlon is responsible for 48% of his team's points. It's either scoring or assisting. And there are only two players in the country that have a higher percentage of points contributed to their respective teams. That foul was on Clifford. There we go. That's Hanlon, third in the country in that category. So if he's not scoring, he's giving the ball to someone else who's scoring.
Yeah, and we talked about the loss of Ryan Anderson, transferred to Arizona. Joe Rayhan, also another guy that transferred out, and then the injuries you talked about. And certainly those two were a big part of what Boston College did on offense the previous 2 years to go along with Olivier Hanlon. So certainly he's missing their production, but Olivier Hanlon, an outstanding talent. But right now, Boston College making some poor decisions on defense, trying to close this game out.
Indeed. Last thing, literally the last thing you want to do is foul someone shooting a three and give them 3 free throws. So, but Virginia Tech still has some work to do. So the strategy must be you go for the steal. If you don't get it, you foul right away, right?
Absolutely. You try to potentially put Brown or Batten on the free throw line.
But BC won't let them foul him. Playing keep away. Virginia Tech wasting way too much time before committing the foul.
Well, they gambled early, putting Brown on the line. He knocked down 2 free throws for Boston College, and he's back at the line again. And it's just going to come down to free throw shooting for Boston College to close this game out.
Jim Christian felt that he needed to change the culture of the program at BC when he took over, inheriting a team that a year ago went 8-24, 4-14 in the ACC. They haven't been in the NCAA. Fewer points per game than a year ago. They've only allowed 57 tonight. They had a 4-game winning streak in December. It's the first time they've done that in 2 years. They won their first 5 home games of the year. First time they've done that in 6 years. But then wheels started to come off when they hit conference play and the schedule got tougher. Smith with the runner. With only 11 seconds left. It's going to be too little, too late. The home run ball to Clifford, and now Virginia Tech will probably call off the Dogs. So Boston College, for the first time since mid-December, has put together back-to-back wins. They follow up the win over NC State on Saturday at home with a 7-point